Hello everyone, welcome back to Nomo Studio. So this is the part 2 of our previously uploaded video on divisibility rules. Here we will tackle divisibility rules for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and lastly 13. So without any further ado, let's start with divisibility rule for 7. Take the last digit of the number, double it, and then subtract it from the rest of the numbers. If the result is divisible by 7, then the original number is also divisible by 7. This process can be repeated until a number is obtained that is clearly divisible by 7. This is quite complicated, so bear with me. Let's say for example, is 315 divisible by 7? The answer is yes. According to the rule, take the last digit of the number, which is simplified, and then multiply it by 2, which makes 10. And then subtract this number from the remaining numbers, which means 31 minus 10, which gives us 21. And as we all know that 21 is divisible by 7, since 21 divided by 7, that is simply 3, which has a remainder of 0. With this, we can conclude that this number is also divisible by 7. Another example. Is 5,495 divisible by 7? Yes, it is divisible. Let us check. Take the last digit and simply multiply it by 2, which gives us 10, right? Now, 549 minus 10, which gives us 539. Ang tanong, kaya na ba nating malaman if it is divisible by 7? If hindi pa natin kaya, you can repeat the process. Now, let's take again the last digit and multiply it by 2, which is equal to 18. Then, subtract this number to 53, and that is equal to 35. And as we all know, 35 is divisible by 7. Since 35 divided by 7, that is equal to 5. Therefore, this number is also divisible by 7. Kung medyo nabibilisan lang po kayo, you can pause the video for you to analyze well, and then play again to continue. Kasi if babagalan ko po, baka mababagot naman kayo kasi mabagal ang pagsasalita. Anyway, let's proceed with divisibility rule for 8. An integer is divisible by 8 if the number formed by its last 3 digits is divisible by 8. Example, is 3,640 divisible by 8? Yes, this is divisible. Since the last 3 digits are completely divisible by 8. Since 640 divided by 8, that is equal to 80, right? So that also means this original number is divisible by 8. And by the way, you can also use to verify if it is divisible by 8 kapag divisible din siya by both 2 and 4. If it is so, then it is divisible by 8. This is divisible by 2 since the last digit is 0. Is this divisible by 4? Yes, since if we take the last 2 digits and divide it by 4, which is equal to 10, which means this is divisible by 4. Upon checking, we verified that this number is divisible by both 2 and 4. Therefore, this is also divisible by 8. Last example for this rule. Is this divisible by 8? To confirm if it is divisible by 8, let us check if this is divisible by both 2 and 4. Again, we can say that an integer is divisible by 2 if its last digit is either 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And as what we can see, the last digit is 4, hence this is divisible by 2. Next, let's verify if this is divisible by 4. Just simply look at the last 2 digits and divide it by 4. Since it is divisible, then this integer is also divisible. Since this integer was verified as divisible by both 2 and 4, therefore we can say that this integer is also divisible by 8. That's how it works. Mas maganda talaga if napanood niyo po yung part 1 ng video na ito for you to understand further rules na itatakol pa natin dito. And now let's proceed with divisibility rule for 9. An integer is divisible by 9 if the sum of all the digits of the number is divisible by 9. Let's say for example, Is 7,065 divisible by 9? Let's check this by adding all the digits. 7 plus 0 plus 6 plus 5, and that is equal to 18. Since 18 is divisible by 9, kasi nga 18 divided by 9, that is exactly equal to 2, which means the remainder is 0. Therefore, we can say that this is divisible by 9 upon applying the divisibility rule for 9. Next example. Is this divisible by 9? Okay, let us simply add all the digits. 4 plus 9 plus 3 plus 0 plus 6 plus 5, which gives us 27. 27 divided by 9, that is exactly equal to 3, which means 27 is divisible by 9. And that means this integer is also divisible by 9. Okay, so now let's have divisibility rule for 10. A number is divisible by 10 if its last digit is 0. This is the easiest of all. Kasi nga, di ba, titingnan mo lang ang last digit. If it is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. Example, these are all divisible by 10 kasi nga 0 ang kanilang last digits. How about divisibility rule for 11? According to this rule, an integer is divisible by 11 if the difference of the sums of the alternative digits of a number is divisible by 11. So, to understand further, let's have an example. Is this divisible by 11? Now, to verify if this is divisible by 11, let's apply the rule. Ang unang gagawin daw is to get the sum of the odd digits and then subtract it from the sum of the even digits. So let's extract first all the odd digits. So we have 4, 6, and 0. And get the sum. So we have 10. Now let's also extract all the even digits. So we have 2, 3, and 5. And get the sum. So we also have 10. Then subtract these two numbers so we get 0. Since 0 divided by 11, the answer is 0. So it means this is divisible. And we can also say that this integer is divisible by 11. Another example. Is this divisible by 11? Simply the answer is yes. But let's verify using the rule. Separate the alternative digits. So we have this. Now, get the sum of each. Here we get 20. At dito naman, we also have 20. Now, let's subtract these two. 20 minus 20, that is 0. Since 0 is divisible by 11, this also implies that this 50 million is divisible by 11. Hope you've got this. Now, in divisibility rule for 12, this is easy if you know the rules for 3 and 4. Since an integer is divisible by 12 if it is divisible by both 3 and 4. Again, sa part 1 ng video na to, we already tackled the divisibility rules for 3 and 4. At ang link ng video ay nasa description below. Now, let's have an example. Is 43,824 divisible by 12? Let's now check if it meets the rules for 3 and 4. Remember that this is divisible by 3 if the sum of all the digits is divisible by 3. So, let's add 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 2 plus 4, which is equal to 21. Since 21 divided by 3, that is exactly equal to 7, which means this is divisible by 3. Next, let's check if this is divisible by 4. Simply get the last two digits and divide it by 4. So we have 24 divided by 4, and that is exactly equal to 6. It means this is divisible by 4. Since this integer is divisible by both 3 and 4, it means this integer is also divisible by 12. And now, try this one. Is this divisible by 12? Just comment your answer below and show that you verified it using the rules for 3 and 4. This is for you to practice. So now let's have divisibility rule for 13. take the last digit of the number, multiply it by 4, and add it to the rest of the numbers. If the result is divisible by 13, then the original number is also divisible by 13. Let's try this one. Is 195 divisible by 13? Again, sabi sa rule, take the last digit only, then multiply it by 4, and we get 20. Now, add this to the remaining numbers, and it gives us 39. Since 39 is divisible by 13, kasi 39 divided by 13, that is exactly equal to 3. So, we can simply conclude that this 195 is also divisible by 13. Another example, is 442 divisible by 13? The answer is yes, but let's verify. Take the last digit, multiply it by 4, so we have 8. Then, add this to 44, and we get 52. Since 52 is divisible by 13, therefore, 442 is also divisible by 13. And that ends our video for divisibility rules. I hope you've learned something new today. At kung bago ka pa lang po sa ating channel, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, like, and share this video to your friends. See you next time. Bye for now.